Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Tomorrow, if all things go well, Top Gun 2, which is called Top Gun Maverick, is set to release in the theaters and on HBO Max, I believe. So, I decided to watch the original classic that I admittedly have never seen before. So I was, kind of anxious and nervous about it because I've heard really good things, and I was personally a little nervous about it because I don't always like old movies. I think that a lot of 80s movies are fantastic, but some of them, like particularly ones that my dad likes, we don't have very similar taste in movies. So I know he likes this one, so I wasn't really looking forward to it, but I was really surprised. And so today we're just going to be talking about Top Gun. Top Gun was released in 1986, and it was written by Jim Cash and Jack Epps Jr., and directed by Tony Scott. So, no spoilers, but essentially what this movie is about these... It's a fighter jet plane school, and the best of the best go to the school called Top Gun, and the person who is the best of that is the Top Gun. And it's about Maverick trying to be the best and trying to be Top Gun. But he's a very, very good flyer. But he's a jokester, and also, he takes risks that not everybody else takes. And he's kind of seen as, dangerous and, that kind of thing. More of a, if you watch The Breakfast Club, he's like the bad guy of The Breakfast Club. Where, you kind of like him, but, also, you can really screw some stuff up. And I think that is an interesting character to be a main protagonist. I think it is rare that we kind of see this thing where, we know that we like the protagonist, but also he's kind of being dangerous. We shouldn't like him, maybe. And it's this really interesting thing that I really like about other movies, that they do that kind of thing, when they take that risk to be like, maybe we don't like the protagonist. And I like it here. I think it works really well. I do like our protagonist a lot. And I think that what really works about this movie is the acting in particular, for one, and for two, just the laid-back use of this film technique, right? Where largely this film is reused, right? A lot of the flying plane things, if you watch carefully, a lot of the film is kind of reused. There's this one where the plane takes off. They used that one 3 times, and I don't even care because it was awesome and really, really cool. And I don't think that Tom Cruise does his own stunts in this one. I think he does in Top Gun 2 when that comes out tomorrow. I don't know, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty confident. Tom Cruise has recently got into doing all the stunts, so I'm really excited to watch the second one because I'm pretty confident he flies the plane. So that'll be really cool. But here, what is nice about this movie, and other movies as well, is the spectacle, right? The spectacle is here. It's similar to Titanic, in my opinion, where the spectacle is there. It's big, it's awesome, it's grandiose, it's a cool, action movie, basically. But that's not why you're watching it. You're watching it because you really like Maverick and you want to see what happens to Maverick. I like movies that can do that, like Titanic, where you like to watch the Titanic. You love the sinking part because it's super cool and really cool special effects. But you're not there to watch that. You're there because you're interested in Jack and you're interested in Rose and these relationships that they have. And it's a really, really cool thing when a movie can do that and deliver on it. And that brings me to the relationship between Maverick and Charlie. Charlie is the female instructor of the Top Gun school, and Maverick is, of course, Maverick. And they kind of fall for each other. And, of course, it's kind of weird because she's a teacher and he's a student. It's a college, basically, so, of course, they're adults. But, you're still not supposed to, be in relationships with your students. So it is an interesting little kind of back and forth they have. I think it works well. I think it was interesting to watch. I didn't really care for it all that much. I think that they probably went a little overboard on it. A lot of movies do because they're like, well, no one's going to want to watch it. There's no romance. And a lot of people add romance to their movies so that women may go watch it, right? Because right now we do have this issue in Hollywood, and this probably was in the 80s too, where people assume that there has to be a romantic, element in the story because they can sell that to women, right? Because action movies are largely a male audience. And I understand that's kind of, you may sound sexist. It's not. It's just truth where, if it's an action movie, it's largely going to be marketed towards men. It's just a fact. And they use this trick where they add a romance in there because they're then they can market that towards the women part. and then get more butts and seats, which then gives them more money, which is the unfortunate truth of how Hollywood works. That being said, I think it is a good romance. It's just a little overdone in my opinion. I think that we really shouldn't have had spent so much time on getting to know the romantic partners. I think that we could have settled back on that and focused more on the flight school thing because it was more interesting, and also could have made the movie a little shorter. I think the movie was fine in terms of length, but it could have been a little shorter if we had, kind of either sped up or cut out some of the romance parts that just kind of didn't fit in all that well. Let's start some of the acting. So with Tom Cruise's Maverick. I think Tom Cruise is fantastic. I haven't watched a whole lot of Tom Cruise. I will do a series on him at some point, I'm sure. I am excited to see more of him, but in this movie, I think he's just really, really charming. He's just funny in the same way that, like, the bad guy from the Breakfast Club is. He's my favorite character. But it's not because of, the character itself. It's more because the charisma that the character brings. And that's the same thing with Tom Cruise here. He's so charismatic, and it works really well in this movie, in this part. And I'm really excited to see him as Maverick again, hopefully tomorrow in Top Gun 2. We have Kelly McGillis as Charlie. So that's his girl. I think she was really fantastic. I've heard they did not get along on set at all, which kind of surprised me because their dynamic in the movie was really, really well done. I do think that her character has a little bit too much screen time, in my opinion, but she did really good, and it's not on her, it's more on the writers and the directors. Overall, Top Gun's a really fun movie, and definitely a movie that I would love to watch with other people. It sounds like a really fun... Well, I know it is a movie. It's a really good movie to watch with friends. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out before the next one comes out. I don't remember where I watched Top Gun. I think it was on... It's probably on HBO Max, but now thinking about it, I think I rented it somewhere. But whatever. It is a fun movie, and the next one comes out, I believe, tomorrow. I'm filming this a couple weeks in advance, so I don't know for sure if it's still going to come out tomorrow, but that's the plan. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get to watch it and I'll release a review for that. But I'm going to give the first Top Gun an A. Really solid movie. A couple issues with it, but nothing too major. I really did like the movie. It's something I will watch again, and maybe I'll watch it with my dad at some point because I know he likes the movie. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in subscribing, please hit that red button. It's a huge, 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 huge help. We are getting somewhere. Once we get 150, if we haven't already done so, I will be dressing up like Spider-Man going to Walmart. So if you want to see that, definitely subscribe. Like the video, share it with your friends, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.